Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today our topic is female reproductive system. Female reproductive system that is like other systems. This system is responsible for reproduction in females and this female reproductive system this is organized. इसमें जो होते हैं different organs होते हैं like इसमें होते ovaries, oviducts which are also called fallopian tubes, uterus होता है, इसमें vagina होता है. These are different organs of female reproductive system, and this female reproductive system this is involved in the production of female sex hormones to maintain the reproduction cycle. And these different parts of female reproductive system, they have different functions, and these parts along with the pair of mammary glands that are integrated both functionally and structurally, they also support the process of ovulation, fertilization, birth, and finally the child care. And the ovaries here is, you can see, structure of female reproductive system. It consists of ovaries, and these ovaries are female. These are oval shaped organs which are inside the abdominal cavity of a woman near the kidneys. और हर एक वुमेन जो होती है, हर एक फीमेल जो होती है, उसकी 2 ओवरीज होती है, और जो ओवरीज होते हैं दे आर प्राइमरी रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स इन ए वुमेन. और जो इस ओवरीज की फंक्शन होती है, फंक्शन ऑफ ओवरीज इज टू मेक मैच्योर फीमेल सेक्स सेल्स और फीमेल gametes that are known as ova or eggs. And these ovaries, they also make female sex hormone like estrogen and progesterone. And each ovary that is composed of several thousand follicles which are a kind of unripe eggs or unripe ova. This means each ovary is composed of several thousand unripe eggs or ova. And at puberty, these unripe eggs, they mature to form eggs or ripe ova required for fertilization. Or just above the ovaries are the tubes. You can see here, just above the ovaries are the tubes that are known as fallopian tubes, or that are known as oviducts. Oviducts are not directly connected to ovary but have a funnel shaped openings which almost cover the ovaries. The ovum or egg cell जो release होती है ovary से, that goes into the oviduct through this funnel shaped opening, and fertilization of egg by a sperm होती है male reproductive cell or male sex cell that takes place in the oviduct. लेकिन fertilization that takes place in the oviduct. जो ये 2 oviducts, ये 2 fallopian tubes होते हैं, they are connected to bag-like structure, bag-like organ called uterus or womb at its other end. The growth and development of fertilized ovum or fertilized egg into the baby that takes place in the uterus. वो जो यूट्रस होता है, ये होता है connected through a narrow opening that's called cervix. Here you can see cervix. That is connected through that cervix to another tube that's called vagina. Here you can see vagina. और जो vagina होता है, that opens to outside of body, and vagina is also called birth canal because it is through this passage that baby is born after the completion of development inside the uterus of the mother. ठीक है, these are the different organs of female reproductive system: ovary, oviducts or fallopian tubes, uterus, cervix, vagina. ठीक है, now let us have a look at each organ. ओवरी जो होते हैं act as a man female sex organ that produce the female gamete and various hormones. These organs are situated on both sides of lower abdomen. Each ovary measures about 2 to 4 centimeter in length, that is connected to the uterus and pelvic wall through ligaments, and the ovary is surrounded by a thin covering of epithelium enclose the ovarian stroma and divide into zones: outer cortex and inner medulla. और जो यूट्रस होता है इट्स आल्सो कॉल्ड वोम, और ये क्या होता है मस्कुलर इन्वर्टेड पियर शेप्ड ऑर्गन ऑफ द फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम। और जो इसके वॉल्स होते हैं वो होते हैं 3 लेयर्स, इट इज़ वॉल्स ऑफ यूट्रस आर 3 लेयर्ड। और जो ये 3 लेयर्स होते हैं दे आर मेंटेन बाय लिगामेंट एंड दे आर अटैच्ड टू द pelvic wall which then opens into the vagina from a narrow cervix, ठीक है। And the fallopian tubes, they are also known as oviducts. They appear as muscular tubes and funnel-shaped structures that extend from the right and left of the superior corners of the uterus to the edges of the ovaries, ठीक है। और जो वेजिना है, वेजिना क्या होता है मस्कुलर इलास्टिक ट्यूब दैट कनेक्ट्स द सर्विक्स टू द एक्सटर्नल बॉडी and it functions as a receptacle for depends in sexual intercourse and delivers sperm to the fallopian tubes and uterus, and it acts as a birth canal by expanding to allow delivery of the fetus through childbirth during childbirth, ठीक है। That is all about this structure of. Now let us now see how fertilization takes place, how ovulation takes place. What is ovulation? ओवल्यूशन जो होता है ये प्रोसेस होता है जिसमें एग्स जो होते हैं वो रिलीज होते हैं फ्रॉम द ओवरीज, और जो ये प्रोसेस है ओवल्यूशन दैट टेक्स प्लेस as soon as the follicle is fully grown and it reaches its size along with the accumulation of liquid in the follicle without a significant rise in the pressure, ठीक है। वो जो ओवल्यूशन होती है, ओवल्यूशन क्या होती है, इट इज सिंपली आप याद रखो इट इज सिंपली रिलीज ऑफ एग्स फ्रॉम द ओवरीज, ठीक है। और फर्टिलाइजेशन कैसे होती है जो ह्यूमन बींग्स में है, दैट इन ह्यूमन बींग्स इंटरनल फर्टिलाइजेशन टेक्स प्लेस। जो स्पर्म्स होते हैं या फीमेल गैमेट्स होते हैं that are produced made in testes of a man, and they are introduced in the vagina of the woman through during copulation or we can say mating. Millions of sperms जो होते हैं they वो release होते हैं into the vagina at one time, and जो sperms होते हैं they highly active होते हैं and mobile, और जो sperms they move through cervix into the uterus. From the uterus sperms pass into the oviducts. जब ओविडक्ट्स में मेल गैमेट्स और मेल सेक्स सेल्स पहुंचते हैं तो वहाँ क्या होता है, वन ऑफ द ओविडक्ट्स दैट कंटेन एन ओम that are released by ovary during ovulation. Only one sperm fused with the ovum or egg in the oviduct to form a zygote, and that is known as fertilization. This means fertilization में क्या होता है, जो sperm होता है वो fuse होता है with the ovum, ठीक है। और जो फर्टिलाइजेशन ऑफ ओम है दैट टेक्स प्लेस इन द ओविडक्ट और वी कैन से इन द फैलोपियन ट्यूब। और जब ये ओम और एग वी कैन से जब इनकी फर्टिलाइजेशन होती है ओविडक्ट में जाइगोट फॉर्म होता है, एक दूसरी सेल प्रोड्यूस होती है वहाँ फॉर्म होती है दैट नोन एज जाइगोट। और ये जाइगोट है दैट डिवाइड्स बाय माइटोसिस एंड इट moves down slowly in the oviduct and forms a hollow ball of hundreds of cells, and this hollow ball of cells that is known as embryo, ठीक है। And this embryo that sinks into the soft and thick lining of the uterus and gets embedded in it. और जो embedding of this embryo in the thick lining of uterus that is known as implantation, ठीक है। जब इम्प्लांटेशन होती है जो ये डिस्क लाइक स्पेशल टिश्यू डेवलप होता है बिटवीन द यूट्रस वॉल एंड द एम्ब्रियो दैट इज नोन एज प्लासेंटा, ठीक है। और जो फेटस होता है, जो ये बच्चा होता है, ये कनेक्ट होता है टू प्लासेंटा इन मदर्स बॉडी थ्रू अम्बिलिकल कॉर्ड। इट इज थ्रू दिस प्लासेंटा दैट ऑल द रिक्वायरमेंट्स जो बच्चों को चाहिए The developing feeds like nutrition, respiration, excretion that are met from the mother's body. और exchange of nutrients जो होते हैं oxygen and waste products between the embryo mother that takes place through the placenta. और एक टर्म यहाँ पे आती है gestation. What is gestation? Gestation क्या होता है? Gestation होता है वो time period, the time period from the fertilization up to the birth of a baby. जो बेटा एवरेज gestation period in humans that is about 9 months. ठीक है, इस gestation period में क्या होता है, जो fetus होता है that grows to become a baby, और birth होती है after 9 months. Birth begins when the strong muscles in the walls of uterus start to contract rhythmically, and this rhythmic contraction of uterus muscles that gradually push the baby out of the mother's body through vagina, and a female gives birth to its young one. ठीक है, और मैंने आपको पहले ही बोला है जो एस्ट्रोजन एंड प्रोजेस्टेरोन दैट आर हार्मोन्स दैट आर secreted by ovaries, and it is इनकी क्या फंक्शन, दे foster the development of reproductive organs by maintaining the proper uterine cycle and by developing female secondary or sex characteristics. और जब एक फीमेल व्हेन शी रीच एट द एज ऑफ 45 and to 55, the uterine cycle stops and the ovaries can no longer produce estrogen and progesterone hormones. This means after 55 females are not able to get pregnant. ठीक है, और इसमें एक और साइकिल आता है मेंस्ट्रुएशन जो होती है सेक्सुअल साइकिल होता है फीमेल्स में. और व्हेन गर्ल चाइल्ड इज बॉर्न, कोई भी जब गर्ल बेबी आती है उसके जो ओवरीज होते हैं दे ऑलरेडी कंटेन मैनी थाउजेंड्स ऑफ इमेच्योर एग्स which are contained in immature follicles, and when girls reach at the age of puberty, जो ये follicle होते हैं they develops at a time to form a mature egg. On measuring the follicle, the burst and the ovum shoots out of the ovary. This is called ovulation, and release of ovum from ovary that is known as ovulation. मैंने आपको अभी बोला. और ये menstruation क्या होता है, menstrual cycle क्या होता है, जब एक फीमेल puberty, when she reaches puberty, during this period an ovary discharges a mature egg which travels to the uterus, and in the uterus, if the egg is not fertilized, the lining of the uterine that shuts away and new cycle begins. Overall जो menstrual cycle that lasts for 28 days. In some cases, these cases may either last for 21 days or as long as 35 days in some individuals. और जो entire process of menstrual cycle होता है that is controlled by the endocrine system and hormones, and जो hormones इसमें involve होते हैं that are FSH, LH, estrogen and progesterone. और जो ये hormones है they are जो FSH and LH they are produced by pituitary gland, or just estrogen and progesterone they are produced by the ovaries. ठीक है, और ये menstruation क्या होती है, ये होता है break down and removal of inner thick and soft lining of the uterus along with its blood vessels in the form of vaginal bleeding. ठीक है, जो हमारे फीमेल्स में पीरियड्स होते हैं आफ्टर एवरी मंथ दैट इज नोन एज मेंस्ट्रुएशन. ये भी कभी एग्जाम में पूछा जाता है क्वेश्चन. और ये मेंस्ट्रुएशन इट occurs if an ovum or egg that is released by ovary of a female does not get fertilized due to non-availability of sperm at the time of ovulation. And since the process of menstruation in a woman that occurs again and again after a period of 20 days, 8 days to 30 days, so it is also known as menstrual cycle. And menstruation occurs every 28 days because ovulation occurs every 28 days. Menstruation is also called a period. ठीक है, यहाँ पे याद रखोगे कि जो भी फीमेल गर्ल when it reaches the puberty at the age of about 10-12 years, जो इसके सेक्स हार्मोन्स होते हैं रिलीज इसके ब्लड में that cause some of the eggs in her ovaries to become mature. ठीक है, Usually one mature ovum that's released by the ovary in the oviduct since every 28 days और बिफोर ओवुलेशन जो ये इनर लाइनिंग होती है यूट्रस की वो थिक होती है और स्पॉन्जी और जो फुल ऑफ टाइनी ब्लड वेसल्स हमारे इस यूट्रस में होते हैं and they prepares itself to receive the fertilized egg or ovum in case it gets fertilized by sperm. And if the ovum or egg does not get fertilized due to the non-availability of sperm, then the thick and soft lining of uterus is no longer needed and hence it breaks. So the thick and soft inner lining of uterus along with the blood vessels and dead ovum that comes out of the vagina in the form of bleeding that is known as menstruation. Menstruation that usually occurs after 14 days after ovulation and usually lasts for about 3 to 5 days. ठीक है this means जो menstruation cycle है और menstrual cycle that is also controlled by hormones. That is all about female reproductive system. Thank you.